Hey, good morning, church. Hey, a great passion of mine is to see the local church thrive and being a community of believers in Jesus who take His word seriously to go, make disciples, baptize them, and teach them to obey everything that He's commanded. Honestly, that's the why behind everything we do in the context of this community of faith we call ECF. You know, all that takes structure, it takes organization, it takes people to pull it all together. So let me just cut to the chase with that being said. We need your help. This week, the stock market hit the highest level ever. The local real estate market continues to rise. The local economy is strong, and many of us have been blessed financially beyond what our typical monthly wage would be. I hope that all of us will remember that it all belongs to the Lord, so we have this responsibility to manage, or to steward, as the Bible says, to steward it accordingly. Although some had their best year financially this past year, the reality is that not everyone has had a great year financially. For various reasons, 2017 has really been a struggle. So with all that in mind, I wanted to give you a snapshot of where we are financially with ECF. We basically work off of two numbers. We have a projected giving and expenses, which we call the budget, and then we have our actual numbers, which are the actual expenses and giving numbers. It was evident earlier in the year that the projected giving numbers were most likely a little high due to the unforeseen moving out of town of a number of our families. In response to that, we watched our every expense and we watched it very closely, and as a result, we spent about $55,000 less than we had budgeted. Nonetheless, there are several constant expenses like rent, payroll, and some ministry expenses that are consistent, foreseeable, and our monthly commitments, even when contributions fluctuate. So at the end of September, we were about $18,000 in the red of the actual giving versus our expenses. That is somewhat typical after the summer months and is not alarming. However, it was alarming to see that by the end of November, that deficit had grown to $40,000. So honestly, it is simply due to unusually low giving in September and October and in November. One thing we've never doubted at ECF is that you are very, very generous people. And for the last 16 years, God has been very gracious to helping us operate in the black almost every year. And as you near the end of this year, I'd simply ask you to consider the ways in which you've been financially blessed and the ways in which this community of faith has blessed you through the years, and then prayerfully contemplate helping us bridge this financial gap, whether it be with a little more each week, through December, through matching funds, or a one-time gift. One final thing to note is that for the last several years, we have taken the majority of any excess that we've had at the end of the year and have given it to various mission efforts locally and abroad. I'd find great joy in announcing to you in January that we got to do that very thing. God bless you. Have a great morning.